Yeah.
Okay. Carlton, listen, thanks so much for hanging out in the rain. Really appreciate you sticking around. I know it's not an easy result.
No.
When was the last time I saw you?
That probably was Forest. Were you at the Forest? We were at the Forest game.
When we qualified for
Yes,
Champions League, yes.
of course, it was Forest.
Yes.
Long time ago, mate.
Things have changed.
For the better?
Oh, we won the Club World Cup, you know, we did that.
Improvements, 2 trophies.
That's true.
Well, that's the past.
That is the past. We need to look into the future now. I mean, do you think that the future's looking good for Chelsea, based on what you've seen so far this season? And we'll obviously talk about the game as well.
I'm a little bit confused about what the options could be, because at the end of the day, there's still a lot of work to be done. Today is a perfect example of the unexpected. Because who would have said that after probably 15 minutes, was it, or thereabouts, they would have lose our goalkeeper?
Oh, no, it was after 5 minutes, Carlton.
5 minutes? I didn't realise it was that quick. No, I've got to be honest.
Quick. Yeah, very quick.
Well, it doesn't matter. 5 minutes, 15 minutes, you lose your goalkeeper, you're under pressure.
Yes.
Because even before we lost the goalkeeper, it takes time to warm up. So 5 minutes is very quick. But at the end of the day, that changed everything. Because even with bringing in our substitute goalkeeper, he played pretty well on the circumstances. I think he done really well.
What about the goal they scored when the ball was bobbing up and down in the air? I felt personally he could have claimed it, Jorgensen. You know, for me, if I'm looking at that situation, there's one thing that Sanchez is quite good at, is when the ball's in and you have to go for it, he doesn't hesitate. And I felt like Jorgensen lacked the confidence there and the conviction. Not to say that Sanchez was any better, obviously he got sent off. But for me, both keepers, not their best, if I'm totally honest.
No, but as I said, comparisons, it's so easy. But that's the whole idea of the back section. Your goalkeeper and your back section, they have to work in unity. Mistakes will happen, but we've got to limit mistakes. It's time for us to limit mistakes. Vital, that cost us in the middle of the week against Munich, and today it was a shambles again with losing our goalkeeper. Yeah. So it's always about the back section. Everyone's got to defend, not just what's happening at the back, but everyone has a part to play when we haven't got the ball. Yeah. That's basic football, isn't it?
Yeah.
When we don't have the ball, everyone has to go in defensive mode. That's not happening with us. So it's a learning curve. Forget about today. Let's focus on the next game, which is obviously on Tuesday at Lincoln. Forget about this game. We've lost it now. There's no point in crying. Get on with it. Look forward to the next game on Tuesday. Then the next game in the league.
What do you make about the way we set up, though, Carlton? I mean, obviously there's the emotional aspect, but there's the tactical aspect as well, and the mental aspect in terms of what we tried to do, because we could have easily tried to be a little bit more aggressive even with 10 men, but we took off both of our wingers. Palmer obviously came off because of the injury. Yes. We brought Santos on. There was a lot of changes. It was 3 changes just from that one red card. It was a complete change of system.
Well, to be honest with you, when you change the system so quickly, you've got to give the change a chance to develop on the game. And that couldn't have happened because the pressure was on as soon as we lost our goalkeeper anyway. So it was all risk from there on. Yeah. At the end of the day, when you say to yourself, well, I'm in trouble here, but I'm going to keep going, you have to take more risks. Yeah. And we could have sat back, but you can't sit back. You've got to go and try, regardless. So it's all about circumstances and dealing with the circumstances at the time. But unfortunately, it didn't quite work out. But at least we came back 2-0 down. We came back, we got a goal. A bit late. Perhaps if we could have scored it in the 60th minute, who knows? Could have got a draw, because we were indeed a better side in the second half, in my opinion. First half, it's happened, that's gone. But the second half, I believe we were the better team in the second half.
So it wasn't for a lack of effort then, in your opinion?
At least we can honestly say that the lads gave it what they could. There wasn't a panic situation, and we dealt with what Man United was sort of not on the back foot, but they didn't actually exploit the situation to when they lost the man. Yeah. I think we were the better team in the second half. Many would say, well, we were probably a bit unlucky on the offside, on that, what we would have made it 2-2, wouldn't it? But these things happen, we have to accept it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I definitely saw 100% effort. I don't doubt that whatsoever.
There was effort.
But there comes a point at the top level where effort's expected. I mean, we went through a phase where we didn't even have that under Potter. But now we're in a situation where our standards have to increase. and it gets to a point where, you say, well, don't worry about it, and then that concern starts to creep in because you realise it's been 1 game, it's been 2 games, 3 games now where we haven't got the result we wanted to. And this is not just any old game; it's a big game against a poor opponent, though. So there's gonna start to be a lot of question marks around what we're doing. Not that there should be, but there will be.
Well, you can look for all the excuses you want to, Alex. You can look for, everyone has that problem as a club, where you've got suspensions or you've got people who are sent off.
Yeah.
Suspensions, injuries. We're always going to have that problem.
Yeah.
But we have to deal with it. Yeah. We can't keep talking about buying players in January, or that's too late, or we should have done this in August. It's too late. Yeah. And they didn't want to do it. As a club, we didn't want to do that. Yeah. So we have to face the consequences. And all I can say to you as a positive is just carry on. Let's look forward to the next game in the Cup. Try and beat Lincoln. I don't know who we're playing in the next league game. Do you have any ideas?
I think it might be Brighton. Brighton at home.
So it doesn't get any better. Brighton are a very good team. They proved that today. They could have beaten Tottenham.
What's the score in the end?
2-2. At the Seagulls. It was 2-2. It wasn't at Tottenham's place. So they were 2-1 up, and they played very well, and they got back. But unfortunately, Tottenham got the equaliser, but they didn't lose.
Yeah. One thing we did see today was Reece James overlapping. He was almost forced to because he was our main creative outlet.
Yeah.
And when he was getting those balls in, that's where we got our goal from.
That's how we got our goal.
And that's where we caused a huge threat.
On the right-hand side, coming down on the right-hand side. But he did make a mistake, which could have cost us if United were a little bit more on it. But they're not on it. Man United are not there. But unfortunately, when you gift a club, right, what we gifted them in the first 5 minutes of that game, how can you expect to be comfortable for the rest of the game? That should not have happened. Discipline. There was a lack of it.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to be a reoccurring theme this season based on what you've seen?
Yes.
How come?
I'm sorry, but yes. Because at the end of the day, people talk about we're forced in having changes at the back, putting someone else there because we've got injuries or suspensions or whatever. But that's normal. We keep talking about Colwell, losing him, and him being a general at the back section there. But at the end of the day, whoever's going to take his place has to be just as good and just as bright when he's given the opportunity. Whoever that might be, he's got to be just as bright as, because we can't keep talking about him, he's gone. We can't do nothing about that. We can't buy players, just get on with it. That's all I can tell you. There's nothing positive I can say, except for the next 2 games, it's about going and getting a win.
Do you think in January we need to invest?
I don't think that's necessarily going to help.
Why not? New players, it can bring some fresh energy.
But is that all we're going to do as a club?
No, I mean, what else can you do?
Well, the thing is you can keep buying, but that doesn't mean you're going to get the change that you're looking for, because we have been buying, haven't we?
Centre-back?
Because of Colwell?
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, everyone was talking about that, but they didn't do it. There's a reason. They could have done it, but they chose not to. So why wait till January to look how far January is? Why wait till January to make the changes that should have happened, if that's the case, in August? We didn't do it. So we have to face the consequences. January isn't going to necessarily bring about the sort of change we're looking forward to at the back.
I suppose you just want to rectify your mistakes, though, right? If you say you should have done it, then that's why you would invest in January.
That's why you would invest. But the thing is who are we going to find in January?
That's the question. That is the big question.
It's not August, where we've got a bit of time to sort of, make those little changes that would be needed to give time. January, we know that January doesn't necessarily bring the type of player or players that we need. August was the time when we should have done what we should have done. We did not do it. So there's no point. Just carry on, and we just have to face the music as we go along between now and the end of the year.
Thank you so much, Carl.
No problem, mate. I'm going to be honest with you.
No, you do. You do.
Thank you.